Hi, guys. Welcome back to our virtual book club. Today, we're going to talk about our absolute right to happiness. I almost said it. I went with the I was told by my mother in law that I used way too many ums in my first reading, and I, in fact, did. She counted them. There was roughly about 120 some ums. So bear with me. I am going to do my best to work at that and not say, and that's me thinking basically is what it is, but it could be a little distracting. And I agree with what she said. It can be a distracting. This is opinion based. We do this. There goes again. We do this in hopes that it helps you in recovery, in life in general. Again, it's opinion based. You do what is good for you. I'm only doing these because it has helped me. And I think truly it has helped many. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and start. And again, it is your absolute right to happiness. I'm going to read it, come back to you. I'm not going to come back as much. I think I'm going to stick to what the book has to say, keep these readings a little shorter. You can go ahead once our website is up. That's another thing that's exciting. And we're getting a website. Everything's not just going to be on YouTube. You can get it on YouTube as of now. Our site should be up and ready about, I would say, about a week from now. And you'll be able to find our readings on there, along with other helpful things to help you with recovery, addiction, and life in general. Okay. Without further ado, let's start. I believe that the very purpose of life, I believe that the very purpose of life is to seek happiness. That is clear. Whether one believes in religion or not, whether one believes in this religion or that religion, we all are seeking something better in life. So I think that very motion of our life is towards happiness. I believe that could not have been said better. I think it's great. You can have your opinions about religion. I'm not here to talk about religion or talk about what I believe in, what you believe in. The one thing that we can agree on is that we're all seeking true happiness. That is a fact. And that's what we want in life. You're going to have good, you're going to have bad days. That's acceptable. Have your bad day. Do your best not to have a bad day by training your mind. And that's exactly what they tell you here is to train your mind to change your mood. If you want to be happy, you be happy. It's your absolute right to be happy. You're allowed. We're all allowed. That is why we're here, is to be happy and to live a good, righteous life. It doesn't mean you have to be rich. It doesn't mean you have to have a lot of material things. That's not going to be happy. I can tell you that the most wealthiest people in the world, they're not always happy. And if they are, that's great. But many, you see and you read that many of them just aren't really happy. They have everything they want, and they're not happy. They haven't trained their mind. They haven't learned that they have the power to control their moods and their own happiness. Is happiness a reasonable goal for most of us? Is it really possible? That answer is yes, it is possible. It's up to us. Excuse me. Excuse me again. So, as it says here, I believe the happiness can be achieved through training of the mind. And that is, as we talked about in the first reading, excuse me. Oh, my mouth is a little dry. Let me grab a little drink here. A little chocolate milk always works. Um, as I talked about in the first reading, training of the mind is something that you have the ability to do. You have the strength to do. It's really up to you. It's not up to anybody else. Okay, here we go. So many people think that achieving true happiness is ungraspable. And again, that's not true. Even the word happy is derived from the uh, Icelandic word, excuse me, hap, meaning luck or chance. And many of us, it doesn't seem the sort of thing that one could develop and sustain simply by training the mind. Um, there it goes. Sorry, I think that was one. I think I've been doing pretty good so far. Happiness is does involve training the mind. It does involve you taking control of your life, training your mind to seek that happiness and allowing it to come through. And that's training of the mind just simply means working on it every day, just like a muscle. You have to work on training the mind to control your thoughts. And if you want to be happy, as you're going to hear me keep saying, you can be happy. Just every day work on it, whether it's meditation, writing things down that you find works for you after you read it and makes you happy. You've written something down that you taught yourself what to do in order to make you happy. It's very important. Very important. So when we speak of training of the mind, we're just simply talking about certain inner discipline. And we can undergo a transformation of our attitude, our entire outlook and approach to living. When we speak of this inner discipline, it can, of course, involve many things, many methods. Like I said, writing things down, meditating. That's up to you. That is up to you. Don't leave yourself in that rut, in that depressed state. And it's very hard. It is not easy. Nobody said it's going to be easy. It's not. But if you concentrate on training your mind every day, you will get there. You absolutely will get there. I got here and I'm happy. I'm not wealthy by no means. I do have bad days, as I discussed. Everybody's going to have it. Feel those emotions, but don't let it bring you down. Just have a bad day. Let it go. Then let it move on. There's it's temporary. There's always tomorrow. Remember that. As the old saying goes, one step at a time, one day at a time. When we speak of this discipline, it can, of course, involve many things, many methods, but generally speaking, one begins by identifying those factors which lead to happiness and those factors which lead to suffering. Having done this, one of them sets about gradually eliminating those factors which lead to suffering and cultivating those which lead to happiness. That is the way. I could not agree more. Let's continue. So, if you bring up this question to yourself, which many of us do, what is the purpose of life? What makes our lives meaningful? That is happiness. That is absolute. That purpose of existence is to seek that happiness. And it is up to us, not anybody else, not um, anybody else. Bottom line, it's up to us. Um, so it says here, in fact, a survey after survey has shown that unhappy people who tend to be most self focused and are often socially withdrawn, brooding, and even antagonistic. Happy people, in contrast, are generally found to be more sociable, flexible, and creative, and are able to tolerate life's daily frustrations more easily than unhappy people. Now, I don't want this to be a judgment thing at all. Um, if you're unhappy, which many of us can be, I have been, um, it doesn't mean, oh, happy people were better. No, they just live a happier life and they make better decisions. Um, it just even research has shown that. So just because right now you're unhappy, you may be unhappy, that person's happy, that doesn't make that person any better than you. They just did certain things. They maybe trained their mind. They maybe meditate. They maybe, as I said, write things down. They they do things to help their training of the mind. And there's nothing more greater knowing that you could have a bad day. And I personally, I meditate. Meditation has helped me become patient. Patient with others. I get, excuse me, there was a couple, wasn't too bad. I get a little frustrated at others, and I've worked on that, and I think I said that in the last reading, that I've had to work on my patience, and I find that meditating helps me with patience, helps me calm down. I do it in the morning before work, about 15 minutes. I used to use the virtual goggles. I still use the virtual goggles. I shouldn't say used to, I still do. I've used the goggles a lot because my mind the mind chatter that we spoke about was so intense that I could not concentrate, so I needed guidance, and you will find that we're developing a VR, platform that's going to help you meditate and help you get rid of that mind chatter and help you relax, help you focus, and help you just get centered. And I've used those virtual headsets for so long that now I kind of transitioned over to setting them aside a little bit and focusing on my inner self. And it's helped a lot. The goggles helped tremendously. If it wasn't for the goggles, honestly, I don't think I tried it before and I said, I can't do this. My brain goes too fast. So with that, and this is not a selling point about our VR platform probably won't be ready for quite some time, but we're working on it. And the goggles will help with meditation. Let's continue. I read the and flexible, happy people and cats are generally found to be more sociable, flexible, creative. I said that, and are able to tolerate life's daily frustrations more easily than unhappy people. And most important, they are found to be more loving and forgiving than unhappy people. That's a fact. A lot of this stuff has been studied. Research have designed some interesting experiments demonstrating they found that happy people exhibit a certain quality of openness and willingness to reach out and help others. As I said, don't look at this as that person's happy, you're not, you can't get there. Of course you can. While these kinds of experiments contradict the notion that the pursuit and achievement of personal happiness somehow lead to selfishness and self absorption, that is absolutely not true. If you want to be happy, you're not being selfish. You're just being like every human on this earth who wants to be happy, who the purpose of life is through happiness. Through happiness, you will do what you want to do in life that makes you happy. You will get there. If that makes any sense at all. Doing the things, whether it be a hobby, you'll start finding things that make you happy. It's amazing what you could do, what you're capable of doing. And if others tell you otherwise, you do not listen to them at all. Your inner strength is so much stronger than you can ever imagine. And when you get there, it is fantastic, and you will get there. If the purpose of life is to seek happiness, it is okay, and it is absolutely not selfish, as I just said. One more thing in the book, and I think that's going to do it. I know it was kind of quick, but I think that this one went well. You can understand what I meant by happiness and what the purpose of life is, and that is to be happy. I think that's what this portion of the book is telling us, and I love it. It is a vision of happiness as a real objective, one that we can take positive steps towards achieving. And as we begin to identify the factors that lead to a happier life, we will learn how the search for happiness offers benefits not only for the individual, but for the individual's family and for society, and for society at large as well. That is it. I think the next one, maybe I'll read about the sources of happiness. Um, I'm kind of going all over with things, and I think this was good. I don't think I'm gonna read into this. I read this book once. I loved it. Felt great after I was done. I want to make sure that the sources of happiness is something that we need to discuss, and we'll find that out on the next reading. Okay, so I hope you guys come back. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as I said, this is opinion based only, and I hope to goodness that this has helped you today. And we'll be back. We'll see you soon. Thank you guys, and goodbye. Signing off.